right, so we ended on question 3. So it says define wage elasticity of labor supply and name some determinants. Okay. So when we talk about wage elasticity of supply, this is how workers change the number of working hours or the way they are working in response to changes in the wage. Okay. So it measures how labor supply workers respond to changes in wage. Okay. That's what we mean the wage elasticity of supply. How workers respond to wage changes. So if supply is elastic, workers can change hours easily, okay, hours or jobs when pace changes. Okay, when we say supply is inelastic, workers cannot easily change hours or jobs when the pay changes. So some of the determinants of wage elasticity of elasticity of labor supply. The first determinant is the availability of other jobs. Right? If the other jobs are around, workers can easily switch their workplaces to go to work somewhere else. So in the other jobs, the supply is elastic. All right. If one job is offering lower salaries and another job is offering higher salaries, workers are going to go to the other jobs where they have higher salaries. But when there are few jobs or few companies, yeah, there are few jobs around, basically, I'll put it like, then supply is inelastic. Okay, meaning if you don't like the wage that you're getting at your current job, you cannot easily switch that job with another job because there are few jobs around. No one is hiring. Okay? So if you're not satisfied with your pay or you're looking for a higher pay, you won't go to the other jobs. Number 2 is time horizon. All right. So certain jobs require that you get certain skills so that you can be qualified for them. Okay. Being an accountant, being a lawyer, and an engineer. Okay. So in the long term, supply is elastic. Okay. Let's say you are a cashier, all right, and you're seeing wages are increasing in these sectors, accounting sector, engineering sector, all right. In the short term, you can't just get a degree in accounting or a degree in engineering. Okay, so in the short term, supply will be inelastic because in the short term you can't get those qualifications. But as time passes, in the long term, the supply becomes elastic because there you have now trained, you have now got the qualification, so you can stop your old job and go to look for a higher paying job. Okay, so in the long term, supply is elastic because workers would have gained their qualifications. So if there are any changes in the wages, they can quit their jobs and go for the higher paying wages. In the short term, supply of labor is inelastic because workers can't get those qualifications and requirements just then. Okay. Then also skills and education levels. Okay. So for low skill jobs, supply is usually elastic because the low skill jobs you can easily switch. Okay, you can switch from being a garden boy to being a garbage collector to being a okay. Let's say jobs without skills. People can easily enter those jobs. Okay, yes, but jobs with high skills, supply is inelastic. Okay, once you've become an accountant, all right, and you're not enjoying the wages there, it's hard for you to switch to become an engineer. Okay. Or for you to switch to become HR, human resources. You've got you're basically fixed in the accounting world. Okay, you can't switch jobs into into other go into other jobs. Um, yes. Then worker mobility. All right, that's another factor. If workers can easily migrate, supply is elastic. Let's say, for example, in Western Province, new firms come in, they're hiring and offering jobs. People from Northwestern can easily go that side, go to Western Province. Because mobility is easy. It's just a bus, basically. Now, if it's hard to reach that area, let's say yeah, a company opens, let's say maybe in Northern Province, you're in Western Province, okay, and let's say it's hard to go from Northern to Western Province, right? Then there, mobility will be a bit difficult because for the workers to move from Northern Province to go to Western Province, it might be difficult. Okay. Yes. So those are some of the determinants. All right. Yes. So now let's look at this question here. Okay. Tell us here when the wage rate is 100 kwacha, the quantity of labor supplied is 100,000 workers. Then the wage rate rises to 120 kwacha, the quantity of labor supplied rises to 200,000 workers. Calculate the elasticity of labor supply and interpret your answer. Okay. Yes. So basically, this is the formula. Percent change in quantity of labor supplied divided by percent change in the wage rate. All right. Remember, percent change is just new minus old divided by old. All right. So let's get these percent changes. Okay. The percent change in quantity of labor. Okay, you're going to say, put it like this. You're going to say Q2 minus Q1 divided by Q1 times 100. New minus old divided by old. Okay. So in our question, Q2 is 200,000 workers. Q1 is 100,000 workers. Okay. So find the percent change. So you're going to say 200,000 Q2 minus 100,000 Q1 divided by 100,000. Okay. Multiplied by 100%. So 200,000 minus 100,000, you get 100,000. 100,000 divided by 100,000, you get 100,000 divided by 100,000, then you get 1 times 100%, you get 100%. So there's been 100% increment uh, in the quantity of labor supply. Okay. Next, we get the percent change in the wages. So for the same way we did it here, let's we have to get our old wage W1 and new wage W2. W2, the new wage is 120 kwacha according to our question, because the wage rose from 100 kwacha to 120 kwacha. Okay, and the number of workers increased. So W1 is 100 kwacha. So you're going to say W2 minus W1 over W1. So W2 120 minus W1 100 divided by 100. Okay. 120 minus 100, you get 20. 20 divided by 100, that is 0.2. 0.2 times 100%, that is 20%. 20% increment in the changes of the wages. Right. So our wage elasticity, okay, we'll say it here, let me bring the formula. Percent change in quantity of labor supplied divided by the percent change in the wage rate. Okay. So basically 100% divided by 20%, you get 5. Okay. 5. So since our labor elasticity of supply 5 is greater than 1, supply is elastic. Okay, meaning workers respond to changes in the wage rate. Okay, they are sensitive. Okay, as you can see, the wage rate increased by 20% and the number of workers increased by 100%. So it means supply is elastic. If our value was less than 1, then supply would have been inelastic. Okay. So since our value is greater than 1, supply is elastic, meaning workers are sensitive to changes in their wages.